Hi, I'm Sino. Thank you for visiting my channel. I'm making this nice looking bread today. This is my bread for toast. The outside is crispy and the inside is very soft and fluffy like this. These are the ingredients: flour, water, olive oil, sugar, salt and yeast. Very simple. And these are the tools. The other day, a friend of mine passed on the loaf pan to me, so I adjusted my bread recipe to this pan. This is a standard 9-inch loaf pan. This is non-stick. I use it for bread, cake, and meatloaf. It's a nice, decent loaf pan. Alright, now let's get started. It takes at least 3 hours to make this bread, including rising time, so I divided the video into 2 parts. This is part 1. Here we go. Let's scale flour. This is all-purpose flour. I need 3 cups of flour. Scoop up and shake off the excess flour like this. Don't press in the flour, it changes the amount. And another one. Scoop up and shake, shake, shake. 3 cups. Then now add 1 teaspoon of salt. And stir well with a whisk. In another bowl, pour a cup of water. Actually, how much water you add affects a lot to the texture of bread. For 3 cups of flour, you need a little more water than 1 cup. So, start with 1 more tablespoon of water if you are a beginner. As you get used to it, try adding 2 more spoons of water. It makes a little harder to handle the dough, but makes softer bread. Now add 2 tablespoons of sugar. 1 and 2. Then 1 teaspoon of yeast. And stir well. Wake up the yeast. Now olive oil. You can use your favorite oil like butter, vegan spread, or coconut oil. Usually, timing to add oil is after developing some gluten. However, I have been experimenting with the timing of adding oil. This bread is for toast, so I want the edges to be very crispy and crunchy. So far, I found this timing is the best to make the bread crust crispier. Combine the flour and the oil with hands like this. Let the flour absorb the oil thoroughly until all the oil disappears. I bake this bread once every 2 weeks. Then I slice it and keep it in a freezer. Now the flour absorbed all the oil. Add the flour into the water with sugar and yeast. With a wooden spoon, mix them well. I have been baking more than decades so far. You know, baking is not as hard as you think. Once you learn some important points, it is actually easy. So I'm gonna make more videos for you. The main reason that I started baking bread is for my son. He had a severe allergy when he was little. That's why I don't use milk or eggs in my recipes. Most of my recipes are made for him. No dairy products, no eggs. Luckily, he grew out of his allergy. He can eat anything now. Then I'm sharing for someone who needs my recipes. When the flour and the water are combined well, use hands to make the dough into one ball. Alright, now the dough is nice and round. So now I'm going to knead the dough on the flat surface. Sanitize the surface with alcohol, then wipe off. Spread some flour, just a little bit, then transfer the dough. I'm going to knead the dough for about 20 minutes. The purpose of kneading is to build up gluten. Gluten is a name for the proteins found in wheat. It helps bread maintain its shape. Kneading causes the gluten strands to get stronger and longer. However, if too much gluten is formed, then the bread dough does not stretch so easily. It is important to adjust how much gluten you let the dough develop. Sometimes I throw the dough into the surface like this too. This way you can develop gluten faster, but it is actually noisy, so I don't do this too much. The best way is to use your palm like this so that you can knead your dough with maximum pressure without much noise. How to check if enough gluten is developed? Stretch the dough like this. Then if the dough gets tore like this, it means not enough. Okay, let's knead a little more. When your dough is elastic and smooth, check the gluten. If you can see through the light like this, your dough is done. Roll the dough into a ball. Like this. And make sure the bottom is also smooth. Then place it in a bowl to rest. And apply just a little bit of oil so that the surface doesn't get too dry. Cover with a lid or a plastic wrap and keep it in a warm place. Let the dough rise for 1 to 2 hours or until doubled in size. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. This video continues to part 2.